Hey everyone, so week 3 of the past lives reading so far. This has been really challenging for me, this past life reading thing, and trying to figure out how to apply it to my life now, stuff like that. So I've been doing like journaling and whatnot. And I think at the end, I'll be able to figure out more about how it applies to my life now and maybe my fairy practice even. We'll see how it actually ends. This is the first time I've ever done past life stuff. So this is my first foray really into it. So like I said before, Rachele did do the basics for me using her past lives deck because I don't have that deck. And no, I don't intend on getting that deck. So I have them already written out here. So week 3, we're going to be looking at faith, love life, and trauma. So we're going to start off with faith. According to the past lives cards that Rachele pulled, I was monotheistic, which is the belief in one God, of course, and that I was between technology and abuse of technology era kind of thing, which I did do some research previously for location from last week. And when I got my location part, I got like what was the energy of the place, which was like reflection, growth, progress. And then how did people treat each other, judgmental, superior, inferior. There was a thing happening back in the time frame that I think I was in, which was the 1750 era. And back then, there was a bunch of population growth. The Industrial Revolution was happening, and according to the cards, I was part of Western Europe. So, I'm kind of just gonna play off all of this and see where it kind of takes me. So if I go back to, the faith part, I think that time frame is also gonna play a part in where my faith was and stuff like that. And we'll just see where we're just gonna see where all this takes us. So the first question of faith, and I think I'm gonna use the Monsoon Tarot, and I don't know, I might use this. I have this other oracle sitting here, which is the Sacred Forest Oracle. So I may go ahead and give this one a try and kind of see if it takes me anywhere, but it's just one of those things, like I'm not comfortable knowing which decks to use for past life stuff because I've never done it. So if I take a look at this oracle right here, it's pretty. So, and it's got keywords on it like playfulness, and it's got stuff that's up for interpretation. So I think that would be helpful when doing past life stuff, is the ability to kind of be intuitive with the cards and have stuff that's more up for interpretation. So let's go ahead and go with this one and the Monsoon Tarot, since it has a lot of interpretation in the cards, and kind of see where it takes me. So how important was my faith to me? How important was my faith to me in this past life? How important was my faith? How important was my faith to me? Fire, energy, and spirit. So this is what I got for how important my faith was to me. Fire, energy, and spirit. So I'm going to guess that I probably had a strong faith in whatever it was I believed in. And I was in a royal era, so she looks like she's in the forest. And maybe I believed in energy. Like maybe that was one of the things that I believed in, because I'm an energy person now too. I feel very strongly about energy. So let's see what the book says about that real quick. It's number 17, by the way. 17, fire energy. So take action card, no holding back. Activate your verb and your passion. Free reign, power of spirit is renewed. So yeah, I'm going to say that I probably had something, my faith was really strong. So how important was faith to me? I'm going to say it was important. Whatever my faith was important. All right, and then we're going to go with the Monsoon Tarot to move into the next couple questions. All right. Talking about faith and how my faith made me feel. How did I act because of my faith? So we're going to pull 2 cards off of that. All right. How did my faith make me feel? And how did I act because of my faith? How did my faith make me feel? Okay, I got the Queen of Water for how did my faith make me feel. We'll go over that in a second. And how did I act because of my faith? How did I act because of my faith? How did I act because of my faith? Okay, 2 cards still came out. I'm going to go with both cards, I think. I got Temperance and the reverse 6 of Air, which in this deck I'm not really doing reverses. So we'll go with that and kind of work that out. Let's take a look now. So I think I'm going to actually pull the rest of the cards and then I'm going to flip you around so we can talk about the cards because I think it'll be a lot easier to see the cards that way. Okay, so let me pull the last card in this one. It's what did I use my faith for? What did I use my faith for in this past life? What did I use my faith for in this past life? Holy cow. I got bee spirit and prosperity. So that's interesting. Okay. So I'm going to turn you around now so you can kind of see my cards. And then depending on how long this is, we might go ahead and go into love and trauma and kind of just see where it takes us using both of these decks, I think, still. So, all right, give me just a second. I'm going to turn you around. Okay, and we're back and we're looking at the cards. So let me go ahead and zoom in just a tiny bit here so we can really talk about some of these cards here. All right. We already know about this one. That's a true, yeah. I felt pretty strongly about my faith. So we'll go ahead and go on into how did it make me feel. So this is the Queen of Water. And these cards are up for interpretation because in this book, there's really not a lot in this book. It's literally just 3 keywords, okay? So if we go to Queen of Water, fire, air, water. I like using the book. You guys know this by now. Rich of emotions, intuition, imagination. So I'm going to say that my faith made me feel good, basically. Like I was connected to something. Like I had purpose. It made me comfortable. It made me content. And if you look at her in the card, that's kind of what it is. Nothing's raining on her, even though it's raining around her. She's having this little party. Things are growing. It's just a really good space to be in. So I think my how it made me feel was really good. I like how that came out. So then if we move on to the next cards, how did I act because of my faith? So there's Temperance, right? And right off the bat, I feel like the way that this person, this cat is looking up, but kind of down their nose at things oh yeah, I'm better than you. I kind of get this feeling from the card, and cats are like that, right? Cats think that they are better than everything else around them and the world revolves around them. So I think that's complete truth there. So maybe I acted because of my faith I was better than other people. And then the 6 of Air, which is the 6 of Wands. Let's see. She kind of looks like she's going on a journey, right? There's other people on this journey. None of them are really looking back at her. She's got somebody sleeping next to her. They're in water. They're floating. So maybe I acted better than thou, and I saw my faith as a very personal journey, and only certain people could come with me because obviously none of these people are on this bed with her, right? And I only found comfort, in having a singular person with me. So let's look at 6 of Air in the book and see if I can come up with anything else to go with that. 6 of Air, revelation and dreams, natural changes. Yeah, so really I think that I felt haughtier than other people, maybe. I was better than them. Which kind of goes with my identity, right? If we think back on my identity from the last one where I'm manipulative and I use that manipulation to my best advantage kind of thing. So yeah, I could say that. I felt like I was better than other people. I manipulated them really well, apparently. All right, so what did I use my faith for? We got prosperity. So I'm going to assume yes, prosperity, right? I'm going to say that I used it for prosperity. I probably used it against people to manipulate people even. Like if I'm a manipulator, right? And that's one of the things I do. Maybe I manipulated people in my faith, in my religion. Maybe I was a little bit higher than other people. Like maybe I wasn't just somebody who sits and just listens to a lecture. Maybe I did things within my religion that caused money to come in, right? And I used my manipulation to, manipulate people to do what I wanted within that. So I could totally see that. All right. So let's move on, okay? Let's move on and go into love. And I think that I'm going to continue using the monsoon deck because it feels right. It does feel right. Now I'm going to look at these questions. The love questions are things like, how did I experience love in my childhood? How did I experience love in my adulthood? How did I express love to others? What was my love life like? So let's go ahead and, since we're talking about childhood for the first one, let's go ahead and pull out the Woodland Tarot. And we're going to back up. There we go. All right, so love. How did I experience love in my childhood in this past life? How did I experience love in my childhood in this past life? There it is. All right, 10 of Pentacles. I'm going to guess that my childhood was pretty great. Like, this is a pretty great card. These people are happy. It's a happy family, prosperous. The children are all happy. I probably had a bigger family. So I'm going to say that I had a lot of love. And the way that I experienced it was probably with joy, right? I experienced a lot of joy in my childhood is what I'm guessing. Okay. The next one is, how did I experience love in my adulthood? So we're going to change to the Monsoon Tarot for this one. How did I experience love in my adulthood for this past life? How did I experience love in my adulthood for this past life? The Moon. Oh, that's an interesting card. Okay. So let's take a look at this real quick. Let me zoom in and we can take like a look at this card. So we have a baby carriage back here and something sneaking into that baby carriage, right? Oh, that's interesting. And then here's the egg that's gone, right? So maybe the snake was looking for the egg. The person got the egg before the snake could get to the egg. So maybe I experience love now. Like how I experience it now is I pay attention. Right? I pay attention because if this person wasn't paying attention to that, then they wouldn't have got to the egg in time, right? They wouldn't be able to take the egg away before the snake got to it. So maybe I experience love now. I'm aware in my relationships. And the moon is definitely mysterious and stuff like that. But it lights up certain things. It keeps certain things in the shadows, but it lights up other things too. So perhaps I like mystery inside my relationship. Maybe it's like romantic almost, but I'm also very aware of what's going on. So I think that's what I'm going to go with for that. Okay, what is next? I'm going to back us right back out so that you can see me. Well, better anyways. All right. How did I express love to others? How did I express love to others? Let's keep going with Monsoon. How did I express love to others in this past life? Four of Fire. So I'm going to say that the way I expressed love to others was probably passionate, foundational. So the love that I had for other was built into my foundation of how I felt about them. And that I did have a strong feeling. Like when I felt strongly about somebody, they knew about it. They're expressing in the painting, they're expressing music and stuff like that. So I'm probably somebody who gave gifts is what I'm guessing. I probably gave gifts because this is also in a museum, and that's art. And art was inside my my identity thing. So maybe I expressed gifts by buying extravagant things for them, right? That could be a thing because I think I was a little more on the wealthy side based off what I've gotten. All right, and then let's see. The last question is, what was my love life like? All right, what was my love life like in this past life? What was my love life like in this past life? All right, my love life was strength in this past life. So let's look at this card because it's really interesting. Let's take a more deeper look here. Wow. There's a lot going on in this card. Huh. This is one of those ones that's hard to interpret for me. I mean, if you're going off strength, this is like a bed, maybe, right? Or a long chair thing that you might lay on, a lounge chair thing, and it's tipped the other direction. My head is a square, but the rest of my body is regular. I have a candle here, a fire here. There's other things all upside down in weird ways, and there's even like a lava thing in the background. There's like a shooting star going on. So maybe I feel strong inside my head, like inside my thoughts. I have very strong, my strength is in my thoughts, right? So what was my love life like? Maybe I had a strong love life, right? Let me see in the journal, right, where Rachele had picked my original cards. If I go in there and open this up to my page here. Love life, polyamorous love, fall of civilization, indulgence, maybe took part in many lovers. Okay, let's take a look at that. Because there are many bed thingies around here, so I mean, that totally kind of goes with that, doesn't it? There are many of these beds, but they're kind of empty. And then there's this one, and I'm only looking at myself, but I can't really quite see myself. So, okay, yeah, so maybe I had a lot of empty relationships, and maybe it took a lot for me to be with the person that I'm with in that life, like the person I'm attached to. Maybe it took a lot for me to do that. It took a lot of strength for me to pull away from that polyamorous stuff, or maybe I didn't pull away from it at all, and maybe we're both polyamorous, right? That could be a thing because there's lots of empty beds here, but there's not another person unless you consider that person's shadow, the other person, right? Which is interesting because she's almost touching the hand of the other person here, which is herself. So that's, wow, that's like a lot to unpack. I don't even know how to unpack that, okay? I don't even know how to unpack that. So that's my love life that way. And then we're going to move into the next one, which is the next one is trauma. Like this one, I am not really looking forward to doing. I'm not looking forward to doing trauma. In Rachele's past life thing, trauma was a loss of reputation, status, and poverty, destruction. I was in between the fool and the destroyer. So loss of reputation and status going into poverty. So my trauma is coming. Trauma. So we're going to continue going with the monsoon, I think. Yeah, we're going to continue going with the monsoon. Trauma. How was I affected by this event, by this loss of status and into poverty? How was I affected by this trauma in my past life? Okay. 4 of water. Oh, that's interesting. So looks like there's a sunset, there's a train going, there's a stoplight, there's a moon down here, somebody laying in a bed. 4 of water. So like 4 of cups. Wow. I don't even know. I have to look at the book for this one because this card just seems kind of out there. 4 of water. Let's see what it says in the book, even though it doesn't give us that much information. 4 of water, waiting for opportunities, dissatisfaction with status quo. So I'm dissatisfied with my trauma. Spiritually exhausted and boredom. So yeah, I could see that. If I had lost my status, and status was a huge deal, right? Because there was the power plays and I had a superiority complex with my religion and stuff like that. So if I had lost my status, this would be very traumatic for me. And I would be spiritually exhausted, right? And I would be very much dissatisfied with life. All right, the next one, how did I deal with it? So how did I deal with my loss of status, with my trauma in this past life, with poverty? How did I deal with it? Okay. 3 of fire. How did I deal with it? 3 of fire. Okay, so that's like 3 of wands. That's, ambition. What else is going on here? 3 of wands, some ambition. There's a queen. Maybe I looked for ways to improve my status, right? Maybe I had ideas on how I was going to improve my status, and I had ambitions on how I was going to fix it. So let's see, 3 of fire. That's the queen of fire. 3 of fire. Where are we at? Equipped with necessary qualifications and accumulations, entering the next stage of FICE, contemplating on how to move forward. So yeah, so I'm guessing that I had ambitions on how to get my status back, because here's a queen in the background, right? This is definitely status stuff. This is also status stuff. Knight, another like, oh my gosh, I know what that's called. Crown, there we go. But it hasn't been given yet. So I have plans in place to fix my status. That's what was going on. I have plans in place to fix my status. And since I was manipulative, right, and I did have strong spirituality, I was probably using that also to my advantage, even though I don't know exactly what dropped my status currently. I don't know exactly what dropped my status. All right. So what did I learn from my trauma? Let's see. What did I learn from my trauma, from my drop in status, from my poverty? What did I learn from that? All right, let's take a look. The world. Okay, that's interesting, right? Right? The world is a full circle kind of thing. It's a major arcana, which means that it's big energy, right? It looks like I gained probably a lot of knowledge from my experience with this trauma and building myself back up probably. And I came full circle, I think, maybe, because, if you're in high status and then you drop down, you're going to find out how the other way of life works, which is going to kind of balance out what you originally believed with what you now believe based off what you've been through, right? So I think the world is a great card for what I may have learned, as that brings me into a lot of knowledge. It brings me around full circle into a completion of something within this lifetime and my ambitions to get back to where I want to be, right? So the last question is, how does this affect me now? How does this affect me now? Okay, that jumped right out. I got strength again. Okay. So it probably did make me stronger, right? I'll bet it did make me stronger. And maybe I see myself in a completely new way, because as we know, the only other thing is this reflection of self right here that she's touching, right? So maybe it allowed me to see myself in a new light, whereas, how it affects me now is based off what I've been through in my past lives has given me a different kind of strength, right? It's not the kind of strength where it's brute force strength, right? It's got some mental stuff fixed in with it. It's got some emotional strength mixed in with it, because, there's the fire, you have air, you have earth because of the stonework, and then the water is right here in the background. So all the elements are kind of mixed in with this. So I learned quite a bit in my past life that I was able to bring into this life to help balance me out with my strengths and weaknesses, with my ability to do things in this lifetime, I think. So that's interesting. So that was my whole spread. That was my whole everything. I will go ahead and do a journal thing up of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you have a very great day.